Welcome to Alabama Manufacturing Now, hosted by Alabama Technology Network, a podcast where we cover a wide array of challenges, solutions, and innovations for manufacturers. We're your host, Whitney Barlow, Supplier Development Manager. And I'm Paige Caulfield, Marketing and PR Manager.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Alabama Manufacturing Now. I'm Whitney Barlow and this is Paige Caulfield, and today we have our guest and friend, Amanda Salazar. How are you doing today?
I am great. I'm happy to be here.
That is fantastic. Can you start by just telling us a little bit about who you work for and what you do with the company?
Yeah. So I work with or for Manufacture Alabama. So Manufacture Alabama is the only trade association here in the state of Alabama that represents manufacturers solely. So we offer support, regulatory support. We advocate in the legislature on behalf of manufacturers, and let's just say other issues as they arise.
So can you tell me a little bit about your role as vice president?
Yeah. So I'm the vice president of communications and membership. So I oversee all of our communications that we do from the association. I handle events, really just member recruitment, retention, making sure our members are happy with what we're doing, that we're constantly providing value to them.
What are some things that you do to do value?
Yeah, so we offer events throughout the year for our manufacturers. We offer committees. Think of that as a way that people can come to the table from different manufacturers and share best practices with each other. Maybe it's a safety issue. You know, safety culture is a big thing in manufacturing that we talk about.
Right.
So being able to have a lot of safety directors and safety managers come to the table and share kind of what they're doing in their facilities, and maybe somebody else can benefit from that, or at least we provide that dialogue for those conversations to happen.
That's a true thing, because you have the committee, so you have like HR, so that's a really big deal in manufacturing is the legal ins and outs. In addition to that, you have regulatory. I guess
So we have 5 committees is really what we're founded on. So we have government affairs, which is really the backbone of the association, why we got started. We have a environmental committee, which they meet quarterly, and it's there to provide, support for our members to be connected with ADEM or the EPA, whoever their issue is with at that time. We have a safety and security committee, which is, where those safety professionals are coming together and talking about safety best practices. HR and workforce development. So that is going to be those HR, workforce development. Workforce is huge. I think if we ask industry what their biggest challenge is, they're going to say workforce. And I think that's across the board, not just here in Alabama.
Yeah.
And then lastly, we have our communications committee, which was recently started in the past couple years, but it's essentially a way for those external affairs managers or communications managers within a plant who wear so many different hats. They're internal communications, external communications. A lot of times they share a recruiting role, work with HR a lot. So bringing them to the table to share best practices as well.
It's also pretty awesome, too, that, each one of these committee meetings, it's FaceTime. You're getting them in the same room. They can network and they can talk things through. FaceTime's invaluable.
And that's the other thing. So in Manufacture Alabama, we have 2 levels of membership. We have a partner member and a manufacturing member. Partner is anyone who provides some type of product or service to a manufacturer, and the manufacturer is somebody who obviously manufactures a product here in Alabama. So when they can kind of come together at the table, it provides networking opportunities for our partner members. It's not a place, manufacturing is not an area where a salesperson can do a cold call necessarily, right? But when they can, attend our events, come to our meetings, they can really engage and have that warm FaceTime for sure.
And then they build that relationship, and then through that relationship, they can grow and develop what they need or fill the gaps or what have you.
Yeah, I oftentimes say that being a member of Manufacture Alabama, this is a terrible way to say it. I need to find a better way, but being a member of Manufacture Alabama is similar to a gym membership, right? You get in what you put out of it, or what you get out what you put in. So if you're, actively coming to meetings, engaging with people, you're going to get more out of it versus signing up and, maybe coming to one event throughout the year, or just, reading our communications, things like that.
Yeah.
Well, I think at ATN we have participated, and we do participate in a lot of y'all's events. I think we participate in just about every single one that you have. And I can definitely say that they all have value in different pockets to do. And so how do y'all really focus in with communications on that to make sure it's not a bland, like, Saltine Crackers created the little tiny crackers, and I'm like, hey, that's a great evolution of a concept. So, like, when you go to a dinner and like, how do you do that?
So there's not a one-size-fits-all event for everybody, right? People join Manufacture Alabama for plenty of different reasons. But the way that we can, I guess, constantly provide value through these events is communicating with our members. Like, I'm not in a manufacturing facility every day. Neither are the other 4 people that I work with, right? So constantly saying, what is top of mind? What do you want to hear? And then using the information that they give us to put together events. So we host different events throughout the year. Do you want me to kind of go through those? So I'll kind of do it on a calendar basis. But we have let's say 5 events that happen every year. We have a legislative reception and dinner. It is very focused on elected officials' engagement there. We have a D.C. fly-in where we take about 25 members of ours to D.C. They have the opportunity to meet with their congressional delegates. A lot of times people get to meet with the staff because of our members and who they are. We get to meet with the actual senator or congressman or congresswoman. So it's really fabulous. We have a golf tournament. It's a way, just to network, get out there. We have our annual conference, which is at the Grand in September each year. It is, I would say, the event to come to if you're considering an event with Manufacture Alabama. We have a safety, HR, and environmental conference each year, which this year we're changing the dates on that. So really excited about that. And then we also have Catalyst, which is our Women in Industry event that's going to be in Huntsville this year. It's coming to a new location. So really something for everybody across the board. Yep. And that's all based on membership feedback that's how we created these things.
That's fantastic. I think that the Catalyst last year, we attended and was involved in that. And that was such a fantastic event for us to attend as women. And seeing that, as you know, manufacturing, like a lot of industries, sometimes get the heads that this is mainly a man's role or a man's dominated industry. And I think seeing all those women together, that was really empowering. And so that was a cool experience.
I think so. That event is one of my favorite because it's so different from any of our other events, right? Like, there's no elected officials at that event. It is strictly, women in manufacturing and truly the men who support them. We had more men last year than I think we'd ever had. But it is everyone from, entry level to the C-suite that are at that event, and women have the opportunity to find mentorships within their facilities, people they didn't even know that they worked with, or they had the opportunity to have conversations with their boss's boss or their boss's boss's boss. And bringing them together at that event really evens the playing field and kind of makes it a safe place and an encouraging place to have those conversations.
Yeah, you just brought a great point up that I think I have learned that Manufacture Alabama really does, and something that one of the main reasons why I think that we're involved is you create that mentoring, and not necessarily a mentor like we talk where you have an elder that kind of brings up the younger employees so to understand, but the mentoring of this company has been there or this woman has been there, and it grows and develops where ATN has a lot of experience that it brings to the table, and so it can mentor and help incumbent workers, and that y'all have such a great area for that to grow.
Oh, 100%. And I think it was just sometime within the past few months, I reached out. We had a member of ours who he was in management at a certain company, moved moved to a different company, and reached out about he needed some safety training. So I was like, ATN, those are our partners. Let's reach out to them, figure out, who the right person that I can put them in contact with. And those are just small examples of the stories that happen from Manufacture Alabama. So
I love that when we're a success story. It
Yes.
always makes me happy. The other thing that I thought was amazing is as we know, after COVID, we have some supply chain, and that is something that it's not just supply chain as in the product, but also a lot of companies have either had to reinvent themselves, or that supplier or company is no longer in business. So you have medium to larger tier suppliers, even to the OEMs that are trying to deepen their supply chain again and give the depth that they need. And so that conversation, we had to develop out some great workshops that we just hosted, and I thought that was a fantastic thing as well.
yeah, it was amazing, just the connection that we can bring people together to, we're actually making a difference in these, in Alabama, in the way that our manufacturers do business. Like, there's I think it's $400 billion economic impact that manufacturing brings to the state of Alabama. And, partners like us truly can impact that. And it's a big deal.
That's amazing. 400. That is amazing, is it not, Paige?
Yeah, another crazy statistic, we joke internally because John, our president and CEO, is constantly driving these statistics home about the importance, but the salary the average salary of a manufacturing team member is $82,000, which is incredible. And it employs more than 280,000 people here in the state. So it's a big deal in the state of Alabama.
That's a really big deal. That is a huge deal. 82,000 is unfortunately is about what your base of that's a good quality of life.
Oh, absolutely.
So back to the events that you were talking about. How do you ensure that the events that you are hosting are relevant to the industry needs around you?
Yeah, so a lot of it, again, is, communicating with our members. So each year we have various committees. So for safety, HR, environmental, we have people that live and work in that area every day tell us, hey, here's kind of what we're hearing the most of. We utilize our partner members, or what I like to call is subject matter experts, right? So I had a call with a partner member last week who's an attorney. He's works for one of the major attorney groups here in the state, and was asking about how they could get more involved. And, we're, talking some things through. And then we turned it on them and said, what are you guys hearing? How can we, because when they have a issue in their HR department, they're not necessarily calling me. They're going to call their attorney or somebody who is a, labor attorney to help answer those questions. So how can we utilize those partner members to share to the mass audience at a, more affordable cost than billing by the hour a lot of times?
Yeah.
Well, that's nice. Not getting the deal.
Not fitting
It's
the
always
bill.
like, do not make that phone call unless you absolutely have to.
Yep. Time starts now.
Yeah. Make sure you pause for breaks, though. Any bathroom, we got to cut it short. So what are some exciting initiatives that are on the horizon?
Yeah, so we have a ton coming up. So we just launched a Aerospace and Defense Council. So there's more than 300 aerospace companies here in Alabama, which is, I think if we were anywhere outside of the state of Alabama, people would be shocked to know that.
Yes.
But we are very forward thinking in terms of our manufacturing down here. We do a lot of great things. So that happened. We are launched a campaign called Manufacturing Madness this year. It follows a similar, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for?
Pattern?
Yeah. That's a good way to put it. That's not the word I was looking for, but it works.
Symbol?
A pattern similar to March Madness, right?
Okay.
So it's a bracket type challenge contest, let's say, where manufacturers across the state, members, not members, it doesn't matter, kind of nominate their products that they produce. We encourage the public to vote, and we figure out what the coolest thing made in Alabama is. So
That's really neat.
yeah, it's been incredible. There's products made here that I had no idea were made here.
Oh, yeah.
So it's exciting. It's a good way to engage the public. You know, I know we mentioned workforce development earlier, but getting stuff like this in front of, you know, a different generation and saying all these things are made here, it's cool. It's not dirty, dark, dangerous anymore.
Right.
And just getting them engaged and voting, you know, goes a long way when we talk about workforce. Sure, it's not like solving problems immediately, but it is helping to create that pipeline.
Back to the coolest thing made in Alabama. How did that work? How did that go this year?
So the contest works essentially like March Madness works for basketball. And since we're a basketball state now, we're all very familiar with that. But it's a bracket type challenge. So we'll start with the popular vote. That gets narrowed down into the top 16. Then it's voted on again. I think it was 5 votes per round per day per person, essentially. So the idea is to engage with the employees and team members, you know, so you can be the coolest thing made. And then it goes to the final 4 or the top 4, let's say. And then that's voted on. And then we crown the winner, which will be coming up soon. Very excited about that.
That'll be.
That's
Do you
gonna be really
use
cool.
all the basketball terminology of like Sweet 16, Elite 8, top Final 4?
Yes, so we have to be careful. And yes, because I think those are technically trademarks, so we can't call it necessarily the Final 4, but let's call it the top 4.
Okay.
So you can be like Super 16.
Yeah.
All right. So how do you crown the winner? I know that's coming up soon.
Yeah.
So what do they get? Do they just get bragging rights?
Okay, so the way it works, the contest will wrap up based on, you know, everybody will vote on those top 4. We'll invite those top 4 companies or products to Montgomery. We'll have a ceremony with our Secretary of Commerce, Ellen McNair, and she will crown the winner. And then we're going to do a celebratory lunch following that with some of our key partners.
Yeah.
I'm sure ATN will be included in that. And some folks from Commerce. So it's really just a celebration of all the great things that are made here.
Well, that just seems like an awesome idea. I think
is.
that's really cool.
I can think of some really cool things that are made here. Some really cool.
I just think of the educational, you know, purpose, because I mean, you have no idea what all is made here in Alabama.
Yeah, that's true. Because when we go on, all of us have been on manufacturing tours, and the whole time you're walking through that, you're like, I had no idea. I had no idea. I had no idea.
What is the coolest facility that you have been to?
Oh, wow. Let me think. Now we've turned the podcast around.
You don't have to name the company if you're not comfortable, but what do they make?
Okay, what do they make?
Mine was, I think, which was really cool for me, it was a company in North Alabama, and it was an auto manufacturer, and they did brakes, and it was actually pellets, like red pellets that they formed into the brake.
Was it like an additive? Like,
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Yes. Like it was like, I never knew that you could even do that. So,
And that's saving lives right here in Alabama. Yeah.
right here.
I think the coolest one I've been to, well, yeah, we'll go with this one, is it was a facility in North Alabama again, and they were making on one side of the facility parts for a rocket. And on the other side of the facility, literally, you can see it, they were making patellas, like your knee.
Mm.
And
That's
neat.
it
Oh,
was
that's
really
cool.
neat to see that these same products that, you know, like when when people get their knee replaced or hip replaced or something like that, they joke about, well, no, you literally do have the same stuff that goes into space.
Yeah.
It is in the same building being made. I thought that was kind of cool.
That is cool.
But there is a lot of really, because obviously I was like, well, when I went to that brewery, that was pretty fabulous. But I'm trying to like stick in the space of what I'm supposed to.
And you go to a steel plant and you're just like, well, now I know what hell feels like. So,
but it is really cool
it is
to
so
see that
interesting.
foundry.
It is so
for that,
interesting.
how they take raw and just make it into this amazing, and then that's what your buildings are made out of.
Yeah, there's a steel manufacturer in South Alabama that their steel is actually in the 9/11 memorial in New York.
Oh, that's really
It's a fun
cool.
fact. Yep.
I left, I've been to a couple of them, but I left those just having so much respect for their workers and how they are so committed to doing the job that in that kind of atmosphere, and just, applauds to them.
Yeah, 100%. I think that is one of my favorite things about manufacturing, though, is that one, you get to actually build a product, but two, these people go to work every day and make a difference in how the rest of the world works.
Absolutely.
Just in Alabama, there's two iron pipes companies that, and steel pipe as well. I shouldn't say just iron, both steel and iron pipe, but they bring clean water to us. They get rid of sewage from our home, all of that. And it's made right here in Alabama.
Or the places that build bridges.
Yeah.
And then you walk into their, ATM We Train, so you're in their training rooms, and all around the room is pictures of all the places in the world that their bridges are.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lot of pride that you have, and you pass it down. I think that's one thing that you do see probably a lot in manufacturing, especially in Alabama, because we're so rural, is that you have generations.
We have International Paper has a huge presence here in the state of Alabama, as do a lot of other pulp and paper companies. There was a story, we shared it in our newsletter a while back, but it was about 4 generations who had worked for this mill. And it's just incredible. It is great. It's so much like self-pride in the family as well.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to come back. I am coming back. My favorite thing that I have watched being made in Alabama is corn dogs from Foster's Farms. Do y'all know?
Where is Foster's Farms?
In Demopolis.
Okay.
And do you know that every Foster's Farm, just about every Foster's Farm corn dog, not the little ones, because that's what my kids eat, are the ones without the sticks, but the stick ones, they're made in Demopolis.
Huh.
And they have like rotations, just like everybody else. So one day they make the jalapeno cheese corn dog, which they only, by the way, sell in gas convenience stores. You can't buy those in the store. Then they have the pancake one. Then they have the normal one. And you haven't lived until you've had one that fresh. Like where it hasn't been flash frozen. Oh, yeah. So I might
be taking a trip to Demopolis this afternoon.
I'm telling you, that is the, whew.
I'm not even a corn dog eater, and now I'm like, I want to try a corn dog.
Oh, it was fabulous. Like, I've never had one. Like, I guess you could make it at home, but like, that's not happening at my house. But like, they flash freeze them and then they go in the box, and they're still fabulous. We love Foster's Farms, but to have it not flash frozen handed to you after it's gone, oh my gosh, it's amazing.
Yeah. This is like, we have talked about so many diverse things made here in Alabama.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
So
if I was a manufacturing company and I wanted to join Manufacture Alabama, but I was unsure, I was, on the ledge, what advice would you give to me and other manufacturers that might feel the same way?
Yeah. So, a lot of our members, again, it's an investment. It's not something, it's not like going to the store and buying lunch, of course. I will say all of our due structures are based on your assets in the states and your employee count. So, it's not a one-size-fits-all approach, because our manufacturers are not a one-size-fit-all approach, really. But I would encourage you to reach out to me. Come to an event. I'm constantly inviting people. I talk a lot about our annual conference. Come to that, because you guys participate in that every year.
It's great.
But that really sums up what we do. You get all the industry content, the insights that we provide, whatever, is top of mind for our manufacturers. That year, you get to network with all of our partner members, and you get to network with elected officials.
Right.
So, you can build those relationships there. I think that would be really my single piece of advice. If you can't come to that, come to a committee meeting, come to a government affairs. It really depends on your role at a facility to tell you where to plug in. But, reach out to me. My number and email's all over the website. So happy to talk to anybody about that.
Okay. Awesome.
I think there's a lot. You talked about elected officials, and I think that for manufacturers, that is one of those, not that they're gatekeepers, but that's just something a day in, day out. They don't really, that's just not a relationship they continue to foster. It's not that they don't have one. It's just, all relationships in life require feeding and deposits and, and I think that is a value that y'all bring. As a former economic developer, that is your one comment you would always make to manufacturers. You're going to need to talk to them. They've got to understand where you're coming from. And that is a great source that y'all have there.
Yeah, and not only that, there's so many of our manufacturing facilities are in these rural communities, right? And they employ a huge amount of the population in those districts. So, yeah, it's important to have that relationship so that when they come to Montgomery during session, they can best represent their district. And if you're the main employer of that district, yeah, you need to have a relationship with them. And we're happy to help facilitate that and get you engaged with your elected official, organize site tours with that elected official, whatever you need from us, we're here to help facilitate that for our members.
That's also something I've noticed in past years is that there's a lot of elected officials that don't realize a same reason. It's not because you don't want to, it's just that life. And you don't have those opportunities, and you just don't wake up in the morning and go, I'm going to go tour you should wake up in the morning and say, I'm going to go tour the Foster Farm plant. But
to get a corn dog.
And so, but it's a great thing. I've sat in a committee meeting with environmental, and there were some issues that had just come out on a federal level, and hearing that conversation start and grow there, so that in hearing each one of those manufacturers weigh in on how they think that's going to impact their industry, that was to me tremendous. Like that hour and a half I was like, that was worth all these manufacturers driving in from all over the state to sit and have those conversations.
And you got a free lunch.
And you get a free lunch. I mean,
it's always good too.
Well, we're from Alabama. We love to eat.
We love to eat them corn dogs. I'll tell you what.
We do. I love that you say we're now a basketball state. That makes me so happy. And so it's a little war eagle on that one. But Amanda, I really, truly, and I have said this to a lot of people, y'all are a great association that values communication and builds those bridges between all facets of the circle of manufacturing, from workforce and connecting them to the workforce development like what we do, to connecting them on, existing industry is a huge component of our state. And it is a huge, like you said, it's $400 billion.
Yeah, 440. Oh, shoot, it's 40 billion.
40 billion. $40 billion. 40 billion.
40 billion.
40. John Barganier needs to get it to 400 billion.
He does. We'll put that on John.
I'm going to put a disclaimer
all my other
at the
numbers
bottom.
were correct. So,
I'm going to put a disclaimer at the bottom in the video.
out of the zero.
$40 billion industry, but growing that would mean that existing industry wants to expand and grow. And y'all create that area for them to understand the pieces involved. So that's just like you said, coming up with Secretary of Commerce making the announcement, an expanding industry, connecting with commerce can really help them financially with capital investment. And
100%.
so y'all build that bridge there. Let's see how many more I can use. I'm like the acronyms. Let's see how many more I can use. What is one thing that you wish that more people in Alabama knew or outside of Alabama knew about Alabama manufacturers?
I would say my top thing that I wish people in Alabama would know, and really the Southeast, is that the Southeast, specifically Alabama, is a hub for pulp and paper, right?
Yes.
We are not going to run out of toilet paper anytime soon if you live in South Alabama.
Do you hear that, everybody?
Yes. If there is a port issue, if there is a natural situation similar to 2020, we will not run out of toilet paper.
So don't be going to the grocery stores and taking all the toilet paper off the shelf and leaving me and my family to use tissues that you wipe your nose with or paper towels. That is unsanitary.
We do not have, I don't think we'll run out of water either.
No, I heard a statistic that we have more natural rivers or waterways than any other state. I don't know if that's true, so don't quote me on that.
Not quote you.
Yeah, don't quote me on
And agriculture is is our largest industry. So no food issue, no water issue, and no toilet paper.
No.
We're good in Alabama.
We're good.
And the other thing that I would tell people, and again, this is one of my favorite things about manufacturing is the level of mobility. So, you can start in at entry level. Your companies, if you show up, you do the right thing, you have positive attitude, you want to work hard, you will grow. Your company will invest in you. They'll provide training from ATN, I hope, and all kinds of other resources to help you grow. And, a lot of times with zero student debt, which is incredible.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, nobody talked about that.
Nobody.
You went to a 4-year school.
Yes.
And now, just exposing those opportunities is vital.
Right.
Which is something that I do think we have a lot in our state now that realize that we need to focus. We have the World of Works and we have different things. We don't, ATN doesn't put those on, but other entities in the state of Alabama put those on and create that platform for these kids to see what's in manufacturing and that it is way more robotics, AI.
It's cool stuff. It is fun, cool stuff.
It is. And it's not the 3Ds. The 3D. You said the 3Ds.
Dirty, dark, dangerous. No,
Yes.
it's not. I've been to some facilities that are cleaner. I shouldn't say that, but they're cleaner than probably a lot of our office spaces.
Oh, yeah.
Are beautiful.
Yes. I thought she was about to say my house.
Might be,
So now they're bright, bold, and beautiful. It sounds like we're doing a soap opera. We went from the days of our lives.
So what are some success stories of manufacturers benefiting from your membership at Manufacture Alabama?
Yeah. So I think one major thing is just different legislation that we have passed for our members. Last year was a big session for our team. We passed child care legislation, so encourage all of our members, non-members to sign up to get that tax credit. It's essentially the business will offer a tax credit let's start that over. The company will offer some type of stipend to their employees, and that business, pending the size, will get 100% tax credit back for what they put in, or a certain percentage based on the size of their business. So that's huge. It's huge for the workforce, especially for women. The other thing is just connecting people. I use that story, with somebody reaching out about safety and being able to refer them to you. I've had people reach out, manufacturers reach out about needing to put like a gate up for safety reasons, being able to refer them that way. I had somebody reach out about a non-compete, and I was able to literally take a attorney group who we work with a lot and send them information that weren't billable hours. It was just that connection that we were able to make. There's plenty of business development opportunities for our partners. And again, plenty of opportunities for us to connect our members with their elected officials to get stuff done and solve their problems.
Amanda, you talked earlier about doing 5 events with Manufacture Alabama for your members. Is there anything else that y'all do?
Yeah. So we offer a ton of webinars throughout the year, kind of one-off events as we see fit, let's say. One of the things that we're excited about partnering with ATN on specifically is we'll have a Trash Pandas manufacturing day at the Trash Pandas at Toyota Field. So really excited for that over the summer. And then we're also going to be partnering with ATN and BCA to do MADI Awards, which is Manufacturer of the Year. And I'm going to kick it to Paige because she is the expert in this. So we're kind of new to the game, but excited about the partnership with both ATN and BCA for this.
Well, we are so excited to have Manufacturer Alabama on board with Manufacturer of the Year awards. We just think that is going to be an extra additive to the manufacturers in Alabama. We really enjoy MADI. We think it is what do you want to call it? A great program. And
to recognize our manufacturers.
Yeah, to recognize
at all levels.
Yes, at all levels, small, medium, and large. And we're looking to really expand that, and we hope that bringing y'all on board is one way to do that. So we are really excited. We hope that y'all all look into Manufacturer of the Year awards and y'all get involved. You'll see more information from us, from Manufacturer Alabama, with that. And we look forward to having you.
I know it's a perfect trifecta. BCA and ATN have worked very closely, building MADI to where it was, and it was ready to bring in another arm. And I think this is going to be a great growth experience for the award itself, and allowing companies they already take so much pride in their applications.
Absolutely.
As we're seeing them come in, and now to have that piece and for us to have another promotional for them, it's kind of like what y'all did with your Manufacturing Madness. I have to think about what it was. And just giving them opportunity for people to realize, hey, manufacturing is a really big deal in Alabama.
Yeah, giving attention to the people who, have the $40 billion economic impact to the state. $40 billion.
Yes, I'm excited about the Trash Panda opportunity as well.
Yeah, Trash Pandas.
And I mean, all that goes back, I think, to what we all talk about when we talk about the manufacturer's biggest issue, workforce. Like, this is putting manufacturing out there in front of the public through all of these initiatives to really, again, grow that workforce pipeline.
Yeah, I agree. I think that workforce isn't just about training those that are currently there and getting them. It's about breaking down that dispelling the belief of what manufacturing is and what all is manufacturing. Like, what all does it do? And we talked about what our favorite. I mean, of course, we left out the big ones. Like, we've seen airplanes get built and ships get built and cars get built. But I mean, those are the ones that we talk about all the time. It was like seeing the patella. I mean, you just don't realize what all is built in this state and made in this state, and you can be a part of as a instead of maybe pursuing a 4-year degrey, and getting that. So it's a really cool thing. Yes. I really enjoy working in it and working with y'all.
Yeah, I love our partnership with ATN. This is great. I think, the longer that I've been at Manufacturer Alabama, the more that we've been able to partner with different associations and entities, Community College System, ATN, different economic development groups, EDAA, whoever it is. So really excited to be here, and thank y'all for all your time.
You're welcome. And my last plug for membership is whether you're a manufacturer, a partner like us at ATN, or a legal firm, or an environmental firm, or an engineering firm, or an economic developer, or a partner in utilities. If you touch manufacturers in any way, joining Manufacturer Alabama is a fantastic way, and they give the best prizes and giveaways when you sign up. I have a collection of cutting boards. Yes. And so one day I'll be like, and here is my collection of Manufacturer Alabama cutting boards.
We do have great swag.
We do. Y'all have some good swag.
Yeah, for sure. Try.
Yes.
All right, Amanda, thank you so much for being with us today. We've enjoyed it. Is there anything else that you would like to touch on before we close out?
Not at all. Thank y'all for having me. This was wonderful, and War Eagle.
War Eagle. We'll see you next time.